guys, welcome back to Spill That Tea. And before we get started, like, subscribe, and hit that post notification. So I decided I had to talk about some stuff. Now I like to talk about a lot of drama on here and anything that's happening, but I decided that I need to talk about some Larry stuff. And this was a Directioner page before I switched it. So I am a Directioner and I am a Larry, don't come at me. But we're just gonna get into this. So everyone saw a few months ago, or last year in 2020, of sorry, I fixed my camera, of Harry and Olivia Wilde together, and automatically said, "Are they dating? Are they dating? Are they dating?" But think about this: the wedding was taken, photos were taken, but then the times didn't match up at all. So when the videos and the photos and everything in the wedding, and then when they were posted, it just did not make sense at all. So that's when people were like, okay, great, now we have another, PR stunt on our hands. So, but people kind of kept their quietness until, all the articles started coming out. And Harry never once confirmed it. He never once was even after a few months of them hanging out in 2020, never once did he confirm it. And then in 2021, and they're still hanging out, she wraps her arms around him in a video that was from January, but then just posted it. And the guy who helped him with whatever he was getting in the store, oh my god, a worker there literally said it was probably the most uncomfortable thing he's ever seen in his entire life. He said they were just very uncomfortable and they didn't really talk to each other. And they kind of like to say their difference, but knew there was camera there, so, they kind of, were, close to each other, I guess, but not too much, and they kind of didn't talk, and it was just very awkward, he said. And then, he never really confirmed it anyways, but they still said that they were dating, and it still goes on, and he still hasn't said anything. He still hasn't said anything. And until this, even today, hasn't said anything. Hasn't confirmed it, but hasn't denied it either. And it's just very, very confusing. But then I thought in my head, well, why is that? And then I came up with a conclusion. Maybe he's not the one who's making it. So think about it. So if he doesn't, sorry, I'm trying to get the thing off the charger. If he doesn't confirm it or deny it, he's gonna be talked about for months, and he has been for a year. And so many people think that that's how they're doing the stunts. So they're not letting him confirm it or deny it, because the more people talk about him, the more he gets recognized. And that's what management is trying to do. They're trying to get him more and more recognized. No one knows who he is. Sure, nobody totally knows who he is, but just thousands and 30,000 people came to came to see him. Right, totally no one knows who he is. Great. But then there was another so then there was another photo taken with Lewis and Eleanor, and many people think that this is a PR stunt. And people have been thinking that for years, because they've been together for 11 years, and in an interview when One Direction was still together in 2014 or 2015, I think it was 2014 though, because he was in his frat boy stage, and this was Lewis in his frat boy stage. He was asked if he was engaged to Eleanor. His reaction, he looked disgusted, and this is what I mean by that. So in the interview, there's a video. He goes, "Are you really engaged to Eleanor?" He said, "No. Who told you that?" Literally freaking out, looking back at Harry and looking at management, looking at Harry, looking at management, looking at the boys. Literally this guy Lewis freaked out. And when was told that if the rumors were true or not, and he said no. And management probably told him to say yes, and he said no. He said no. I'm not at all. Maybe in the near future. And kids later on, but no. That was in 2014, it's now 2020 and 2021, and he is still not talking about it. He's still not engaged. How many years later? And he said that he wanted kids, maybe. Well, the one year that they broke up, had a child. So he was ready to literally leave her. And that child is Freddie. And I don't even know how to explain it. It just, I don't know. And then a photo was taken of them, of like in London, I think it was, where it was really, really cold out this one time. And they were in their bathing suits in the pool saying, oh, look, we're hanging out. I don't know if it was in LA, so I don't know the weather because I don't know if it was in LA or London, but London was very, very cold. Like, London was very, very cold. So I was like, maybe it was in LA. But then the day that it was posted, many people were saying that it didn't make sense because it was rainy out. So there was a lot of like back and forth if it, like where they were, because they only go back to London and, you know, California, like LA. So many people were very, very confused because they didn't know, because it was raining in one part and cold in the other. So like it didn't make sense, you know. So many people think it was just from a while ago and then they just posted it now, which doesn't really make sense. But I think that what they were trying to do was cover up the fact where Lewis actually was by saying that he was with Eleanor. But no one, like I said, no one really knows. And then, what was the other thing? There's so much that I'm like, it's all like stuck in my brain. So now I'm just trying to think of everything that I'm trying to talk about. Oh, sorry. I had to like tell her that I'm here. Okay, there we go. So then, you know, it just didn't make sense, right? And then, so, oh, okay. So then there was an interview, and they were like, he was getting ready to answer questions. Now, if you don't know, Harry is selling his house in LA. And just keep in mind, there's like a wall. So he has like marble, like gray marble, like gray stairs, right? Or cement, gray stairs with like green, like flowers on the side of them, right? And then a white like wall, like that's the one side of his house where you go in, right? Huge house, by the way. And then Lewis was doing an interview in the same stairs before Harry sold the house. So before Harry sold the house, you know, he was doing an interview and it looked exactly like Harry's stairs in the background. And then the same interview, Harry is seen walking behind Lewis in the window, because he's like on the, like, there's a window and then like the stairs and the wall, and you see Harry just go like this, like zoom past the window. Oh, we caught it for sure. And then Lewis was taking photos, right, on this balcony, and it looked really, really nice. Now, keep in mind, some girls, like mom is like in real estate, so she got to go see the house and take some photos and post it on Instagram so that people would see that the house is for sale. And then she shows like the balcony, and then people compared it to what Lewis was in, like what Lewis's photo, like recent photo was, and that like around like a week before that on the balcony, and it looked exactly the same thing. The chairs, the balcony, and it was also on Beverly Hill. And Beverly Hill is this really, really rich neighborhood where a lot of celebrities live. Well, where Harry lives, he had a house. The house that he was selling was in Beverly Hills, and that's exactly where Lewis was at the time. He was in Beverly Hills. But this was all before, you know, he sold his house. I don't know if his house is sold now from LA, but I do know that. So, and I also know he has a house in London too, which is where he's going. And then it just seemed they grabbing all together. They literally were in the same place, and he was literally at his house because everyone saw Harry just walking by real fast too. I think he was trying to like cover up the fact that it was him. So he tried to zoom by, and everyone like slowed it down, and Harry looks out the window, so you see his face if you slow it down, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm in class. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and I just I don't know how, I don't even know, I don't even have words for it. But yeah, that's all that I have like as Larry proof. just to share that with you. All of this is pretty recent, 2019, I think, 2020, and then 2021, I want to say, around there. Because he sold his house in 2020, or, like, tried to sell it in 2020, and then, like, I don't know if it's sold now in 2021. But that's what I do know. So, yeah, I don't know. I personally think Larry is real, because if you slow it down, I mean, it literally looks like Harry as he looks out the window real fast and then runs. In real time, though, it just looks like it looks a lot like Harry's, figure. 6 foot, nice hair, pretty tall and skinny, like, seems like Harry. But when you slow it down, you see his face, and it's Harry. So, I don't know what you guys are gonna do with this information. Do as you will, but, yeah. Bye! I hope you guys like this information that I shared with you about Larry. Peace.